me come and speak to your group and show them how to have fun for the rest of your life and how to get the money to pay for it. That's right. I think we live in a society now where it's better than ever and easier than ever to do what you really want to do in life. And that's how you really have fun. And that's how you really give more. And this is really, it's hard fun. It's not to find something easy. No, you find something you love to do and you'll do it forever. And you'll do it harder than anybody else. But we're all, biased because people put stuff in our heads that really shouldn't be there. Do this. This is an expert. Experts don't know. Your family is sometimes your worst enemy. So you have to dig down in you. I've been giving these speeches all over, even Shanghai, China, or startup groups, entrepreneurs, public libraries. I'll come to your city too, or wherever you are. I won't charge you a fee. And it's just important, I think, that people realize what's going on and what makes them unhappy. And you're unhappy because you're not doing what you really want to do, and you have to dig down within yourself to find that out. Let me help you do that. People say, I give them standing ovations. God, I even give a TEDx talk. Man, and standing ovations is wonderful, man. I haven't had so much fun since I became a New York Times bestseller list. But that's what's available in life now. And I'm trying to educate people, to feel that and realize that that's possible. I mean, people are just saying they're so enthusiastic after they see me inspired and got tools or whatever to go out and do this. And man, if I could help somebody else feel like I do, man, I just can't wait to get up in the morning every day and have fun doing stuff. And life is so miserable so many times that the only way to fight it is to have fun. Because if you're having fun, you're winning every day. So email me so I can come and speak to your group. Email me at letsgofreeradio@gmail.com. letsgofreeradio@gmail.com. I woke up this morning and looked at my emails and I had deja vu all over again from about 10 years ago when somebody beat me up, man, in the press. And it really shows how, gosh, I mean, at least for me, the bad things that happen to you are your best times in life. I mean, they're not fun going through it, but in retrospect, man, you grow more, you learn more, you become a better person and everything. I mean, this was an agency up in, it was a government agency, but it was a political appointee there who was, just hated every government program. So they did a study about how I was encouraging all these people ripping off people. I wasn't doing it, but I was encouraging people because my book, and my commercials made people believe that programs were there that weren't there or something. It was nonsense. I actually even helped them get all the data. I worked with them for months so they could do this report, and then the report comes out and they say, I'm causing all this because I have successful commercials and people are believing it. And everything in my book was true. People could take things and twist the facts around them and everything. But more importantly, man, it hit me in the gut hard, man, because I felt I was the only person in the world that was showing what's good about the government. There are good parts, believe it or not. And they're getting beat up for it. But then I started fighting, and because of what they were doing is telling people, hey, there's no such thing as government programs, and that's stupid. And what happened to me in there is I did extra research, studied, and argued with these people, and went on TV and doing all these kinds of things, defending myself. And I realized, man, I know more than anybody else in the world about this stuff. And actually by doing that, I started making more money than I ever had before, selling more books than ever before and everything. It was just such a wonderful growth spurt, and that wouldn't have happened unless something bad. And we all sort of avoid bad things and things like that. And I guess that's natural instinct, and we should or whatever. But boy, when it really happens to you, because a lot of times you have no control over that, you should appreciate it and try to learn from it, because you do. And the more you get involved in it instead of hiding, I think the more you will learn from it and grow. At least I did. And now I look for those kinds of things. And I remind myself every time a potential bad thing happens, hey, do I want to avoid this or whatever? Or do I want to stand my ground and say, hey, no, I think I'm right, even though you think I'm wrong? And then that's a growth that happens. Yeah. And actually, I'll give you a link here to I even went on a TV show they had at the time, was on lie detector. It was like a lie detector test. Are you telling a lie? And I was really nervous because this is sort of like a little bit junk science, and I didn't know if I'd pass a lie detector test. And they do it very suspensefully or whatever. And I got it in another YouTube. I have a link here, and you can watch me take this lie detector test on national TV. And actually the guy who did the test was sort of like the best person in the world that gives lie detectors. I went out to LA for 2-3 days, to do all these things. I was worried that getting on the show. I didn't know if they passed me or not. I knew I was right, but you never know. Even though you think you're right, other people don't. And God, you just have to live through it. And if you aren't resilient enough, then you're not going to do the important things that are really important in life. So that's why bad things are very important in your life. And without them, man, you're not going to grow enough. So come on, watch that lie detector that I took. Well, the internet is creating more ways for you to make money than you could shake a stick at. Whatever the heck that means. I think it's an old guy saying I heard 50 years ago or whatever. But it's true. There are more ways now than ever before. And here's a new way. Watch this interview, because now you can make money with your idea right in your own neighborhood, a passion you have for something locally. There's a website now where you could put it on and charge money to help like tourists that come in town. Sort of like, say maybe you live in Cleveland or something like that, and somebody from China comes in and wants to go to a ball game. Well, you have a service that takes them to a ball game and has fun. Exotic tours like that. See, people are getting so upset with just these package tours that the tour guides are saying the same thing over and over again. And they're bored as hell after 5 minutes, and then the audience is bored too. So they're looking for these unusual adventures. So maybe you invite people over your house to teach them how to cook kielbasa or whatever you do, whatever you like to do. And that's what's so neat. And that's why there's more ways to do that. And see, what's neat about the internet now, there's platforms. That's what he's building, is a platform where you put it on the platform, and so you don't have to do the marketing. Because then people are coming to this website, to find unusual things to do when they're in some strange city. And you'll have your things. And if it doesn't work, you change it and put something else in there. Okay, maybe I do pub crawling or something, or strip clubs or whatever you want, And it's just an experience. And see, it costs nothing for you to do it. And that's what's neat. I mean, the biggest problem with starting any business is getting customers, And so if you have a customer, you have a business. So with platforms, it costs no money to put your idea on there and see if somebody bites, And if they don't, then you try another idea. That's what life is about, is picking yourself up and trying again. You don't know what works, you're guessing. But until you put it somewhere and get feedback, they'll say, hey, maybe you'll get somebody said, yeah, I don't want to go to pubs, but I like to go to wine bars. Ooh, I didn't know that. Okay, I can do that too. I like to play golf. Oh, okay, we can do that. And that's what's so neat. And now with tourism being so much more prevalent in all the cities in America, it doesn't matter where you are. There's foreign people coming in, like to know, or people from Milwaukee who act foreign too, and want to know. So that's what's so cool about the internet now. There's so many new ways to make money that you never thought about or could even dream about doing. So watch this interview. Well, I'm Maxim Besniet. And you won't find that in Google, maybe, because you won't probably spell it right, but you will be able to find verylocaltrip.com. And this is really ingenious, Maxine. I really think that this is the way the world's going. You're ahead of the curve, you're in front of the wave, and it's fun to be on the front of the wave because it's going to take you for a long time. Those that get on the end, man, the ride is too short. But really, you're really giving income opportunities for local people, in the tourism industry. So anybody now could be a tourist with their passion, whatever they like. They like going to baseball games.
Well, they could be a tourist, taking people to baseball games when they come to town. You like cooking, bring them to your kitchen and they cook. But more
Exactly.
importantly, that somebody gets a real special experience instead of some professional travel, consultant who, just recites monuments to you.
Yes, exactly. We make it easy for travelers to be connected with real locals,
Yeah.
and we give the opportunity for locals to make some extra money and share their passions and share their knowledge of the local culture.
I know, what
That's the
could be better than that? I mean, everybody wins. And not only that, but traveling now, instead of going in the big buses and the program tours and the guy who said the same thing 50 times already today, and is bored as hell, can't wait to get home, you got somebody who just loves doing what they're doing. And then you meet them as a foreigner, and then that experience has to be much more than God, just some robot who's taking you around.
Exactly. At the end of the day, people can become friends anyway,
Yeah,
because the guys usually they don't want to socialize or to mingle after the tour. They're doing their job. So it's a totally different approach, much more personalized, and of course, very local.
right. Well, it's like you and I. We love what we're doing. You love what you're doing. You're up 8 o'clock in the morning there working. I'm up 9 o'clock at night. We're still working because we love what I do. So,
Exactly. Passion, when you wake up in the morning and you're so excited about what
oh man.
you're doing, and
Yeah.
it's great, and we want to make it a big success. We are still a startup, of course. That's what we do in the crowdfunding campaign, actually, and yeah.
Yeah, well, and actually, then everybody could take their passion and share it with people and make money on it, no matter how silly you think it is. I mean, because, gosh, I mean, could you imagine somebody from, Japan or something coming and you taking them to a baseball game, and
That's
showing them what to do?
yeah.
Yeah, instead of
People are looking for. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and but anywhere in the world, and I think that will help, connect communities together more than anything else, instead of a corporation.
Sure. I started this because, I've been living in Bangkok for 5 years, and I realized when people arrive here for the first time, they are lost.
Yeah,
Bangkok is a crazy city. You have pollution and it's traffic jam, the jet lag. So you need to know. But people want to try the street food, the spicy street food. They want to see the local markets with
right.
the real Thai people. And it's not easy to do, when you stay only 2 3 days in the city. That is completely strange for you. So this is a good way to see the local community.
Absolutely. And something out of the way and different. Like now, I mean, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is go to your site. So if people come to Washington, what I see, I love Washington, but I'm the same old monuments to take around. I'm going to show them agencies who give out money to meet the bureaucrats who give money to people.
Good, good, good. Yeah, it's a great idea. Actually, I want to make a local trip about the startup ecosystem
Oh,
in
yes.
Thailand, which is growing. Why not? Why not?
Yes, that's a wonderful idea. I think because I was just in Shanghai and the startup community there, and if I had something like that, a local person, and actually there was a local person. I stayed in an Airbnb, so the local person who ran the Airbnb owned it. Yep, had told me about a startup thing that was happening, and went, and they wanted me to speak, and everything was great, and it made my whole trip just because that local person.
Yeah, it's really active here, but not many people know
Yeah.
in the US or in Europe. So it's a good idea actually. I like
No,
it.
it did. But going the other way, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, even if I went, your home is France. So if I went to France, and I went to a local club soccer or football, as you call it, game with a local person who knew exactly, the hooligans and where to stand and all this kind of.
Yeah, it's make a big difference, and you will remember, will give this memory of your trip, of course.
Yes, yes,
Very
yes.
beautiful thing. Yeah, yeah.
Now, instead of that safe same-o, that every tourist gets when they just get off the plane and they, go to the hotel and there's 5 tours they take that everybody does and well,
Yeah, and be in a bus full of Chinese, Russian, or even French people, it's
right.
so.
And I'm sure none of the locals have ever taken any of those 5 tours,
Yeah, Yeah, definitely, definitely. But you know, when you go to Paris, for example, you want to see the Eiffel Tower, of course. You want to
Yeah.
see the Mona Lisa, but you also want to discover this wine bar with a secret entrance that
Yes.
Paris. It's not in the guidebook, right? So
Exactly. Oh no, it's just a wonderful idea, and I think where we're going because everyone now, no jobs are safe, so it's good to have an extra job or something, extra income, and then maybe that could lead into a full-time income too. Because you imagine the nicest thing in the world, and you know because you were in a bureaucrat,
yeah,
and
definitely, I realize that some people they just want to do it part time, as you say,
yes.
like make some extra money, sharing their passions. But some people want to do like a full time job. But anyway, I fully agree with you that the in the future the economy will
Yes.
be more and more empowered by people.
Yes.
So this
So,
global sharing economy is growing anyway.
right.
And if you see in Paris this taxi lobby.
Yeah, oh, exactly. The fights last week.
Sense,
Yeah.
and this is the
But
future of traveling
what it happens is the resources are better. So if you're doing it as an independent, then that you could do it cheaper and even make more money individually than if you work for some corporation who's
Mhm.
hiring you to do the work. Because then they have to pay for all the management and the overhead and everything, all that kind. So you make more money as a freelancer than as you do working for somebody.
Exactly, right. So
And then that way too, you have more than one customer. So instead of having one boss to worry about, if you have 5 or 6 bosses, then you don't have to worry about one guy that doesn't like you.
yeah, and the locals can meet travelers from all over the world. It's
Yes.
also interesting in terms of connection and networking. It's
It's wonderful. The world is shrinking and it's so exciting. I mean, the only way I'm reading a book now called Social Physics, and the physics part of it, for our social, how we make ideas better. So the more we mix with people we don't know and ideas we don't know, the more ideas come, and then we can all, as a community together, advance faster and better and have more fun doing it.
exactly share your ideas with everyone.
Yes. Well, you're a delight, Maxim, and I'm glad you thought of this to give it to the rest of us and to make our lives more enriched and even more profitable. And actually, you have a fundraiser now on a crowdfunding site on Indiegogo, but you can
Yes,
get there by going verylocaltrip.com and really just watch the video. I mean, your video is so wonderful, Maxine. I mean, it really gives a flavor, and I love that rainy street scene in the Bangkok when I don't know who it is that you jump onto this jitney and everything, and there's rain and the wet street around. Man, it's like an exotic movie. I want to see the rest of the story.
yeah, it was a really homemade video with a GoPro with one with one of my friends, and we were very very heavy rain that day. We were like, oh God! But finally, it's not bad, and
Oh,
people
it looks
really,
wonderful. That makes it more charming and it looks more real to me and everything. So everybody should go at least watch the movie. You're going to see a great Bangkok movie.
I'm glad.
Verylocaltrip.com.
Yeah,
Maxine, thank you so much. Take care.
thank you, Matt.
I-
Thank you very much.
Well, we all got bills. We all got debt, probably, right? And what do you do with that? Well, you worry about it. No, you find out about government programs that are really there to help you with these things. They're not going to come looking for you because they make no money off of you. So you got to look for them. And that's what I put in this video ebook are the best programs in your area. These are state programs, not the federal. The federal gets the money, goes to the state, and then goes to you. But you got to find out about it. Plus, it's services. People who sit down with you and help you work out your debt. Call the people you owe money to, figure it out, help you do that, get that monkey off your back so you can live free again. That's what's important. You got to face up some things and they'll help you do that. Other things you get the government pay for and they'll help you do that, but you have to know about the programs, whether it's fixing up your house or paying for grocery money, all these kinds of things you don't know about, or emergency, like how about money to pay your mortgage or rent? You don't know, but if you have trouble with that, there are programs like that, but they're not going to advertise. This report shows you all the 12 basic programs in every every state who to contact. You watch the video, you click on the thing, and you apply. You find out how to get that. That's what it's about. Information is power. Plus, in this report, I got 54 other little videos to tell you about special opportunities that give you extra money from the government, no matter what income you have. Like 1 out of 10 Americans have money in their state capital in unclaimed gift cards. How would you know that, right? Or how about that? I'll show you how to get a free home weatherization, and how about 50% off on your mortgage. These are legitimate programs. Taxpayers, almost 100,000 of them, can get an extra $1,500, but they don't know it's there, so you're never going to call them. That's why I put together these videos that explain this to you. You don't even have to read. These are books you don't have to read. What a great, and they're next to nothing. So sure, you can go find it yourself if you want, but you're not even going what they ask for. That's the problem. But God bless you if you want to, as long as you know it's there, and maybe you'll find it. That's the other thing. Or spend a few bucks and we'll help you. Either way, these are programs you've paid for, and you should take advantage of them. But you got to know about them. Go to lesko.com/Fiverr, Fiverr. That's lesko.com/Fiverr, Fiverr, and you'll see one of our reports there. You can get is 72 sources of money and help to pay your bills and your debt. Okay, watch this next video. If this doesn't convince you that you or most anybody else can compete with the big guys for a product or for a new product, man, it's amazing what's going on out there. There's a young student, just barely out of college, like a month or whatever. He got $70,000 for an idea on wireless earphones. And actually the way he did that is that he was a soccer player at a college, a small college in Virginia, and he broke his ankle or something like that. He couldn't play it, so he's exercising a lot in the gym, and the wires on your cell phone to listen to your music, whatever you're listening to, would always get screwed up somehow on the exercise machines. So he said, why isn't there like a wireless things like that? I mean, that seems possible nowadays. So he figured it out. He took a year or two because he was doing part-time, in school. He was getting a degree in economics and stuff like that, and figured it out. And what's more important than that, and it cost him very little money, is that he also was able to get experts for a fraction of the cost. I mean, he went on like one of the sites called Elance, and I think they just changed their name recently, and put a little ad because he didn't know. He figured out with people in China and other places like that how to make it electronically, but he had to make it look slick. How do you do that? He didn't know how to do it. And for next to nothing, he got some guy by putting an ad, on the internet, who was just left this big manufacturer, who does things like this, and just was dying to work for him for next to nothing until they got a new job, to help him out, because it was an exciting project or whatever. And now he's making it happen. $70,000, man, that's going to pay all his student loans probably. But more importantly, he's got a career. And what encouraged him more, you'll see in the interview, is that, man, he went to work for one summer in some big, financial services industry, and he said, boy, they worked him like hell, and he was so boring and whatever. And now he loves working like hell for himself. That's why work is fun if you enjoy it. We think of work is miserable because we're doing something that we don't enjoy. When you find something you really enjoy, then work isn't work. It's hard fun. Not hard work, it's hard fun. And that's the key in life. So there's a fellow, 20, 21 years old, who did this. Now he's learned about the new life. Now the rest of us have to realize that that's possible, because we didn't grow up like that. He'll know nothing else different for his whole life now. He wants to do something else, just get it all himself, find out, get the money, on crowdfunding and started, get the expertise that he doesn't really know for next to nothing, and put it together, and he's done. And that's what's so neat. I think what's so exciting about what we're living in today, never before in the history of at least my history, which is 72 years already, that has been so easy to do things like that and get your control of your life back again, and feel really satisfied more in life because you're doing something you really want to do, and working hard is fun. if it's stuff that you want to work on. Like we love playing a sport. If we like the sport, we'll play it 24 hours a day. Well, there's work like that too. If you like it, you find what you like, man. Time isn't an issue. Hard work isn't an issue because you're having fun every second. So watch this interview. Well, Michael McCarthy from Get T-Rex. And T-Rex is really wireless earphones that now I can go exercise. I'm running and John, I don't get caught up in my cord. I exercise on my rowing machine and my cord doesn't smash in my phone or anything like that. And you just 6 weeks or 3 weeks out of college, and you got almost $70,000 for your idea on this already? Man, that's amazing. Why the hell hasn't anybody thought of this before?
That's an awesome question. I'm not really sure. I really kind of got the inspiration for it when I was training for soccer, and I would always, hop on the treadmill for a 2 or 3 mile run, and I'd put my phone up on that, little ledge. Right. And almost every time I went running, either my arms would hit the cords and my phone would go crashing off onto the treadmill and it'd end up, on the other side of the room, or my arms would just catch the wires and, my Spotify would come unplugged and the person next to me would hear my music and they'd look over and be like, what the heck's going on? So, yeah, I was just, definitely thinking there had to be a better alternative to having, some cords plugged in. And even my mom, I saw a picture of my mom when she was back in high school and she had, headphones in. So I just said, hey, there's got to be something that's more high tech than what we're doing right now. So that's sort of where I came up with the idea.
Why hasn't some big company? We always think, we can't do things in life. We need a better product, and some big Fortune 500 company has to dream this up. And here's a kid in the dorm room.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess hopefully I can get hired there at one of their R&D departments.
Why? Your company's going to be bigger than theirs.
Yeah, hopefully. I think a lot of it has to do with just the fact that sort of what I'm doing right now is pretty revolutionary stuff, and it's very cutting edge. Uh-huh. And it's also, it's also very expensive from the standpoint of the actual cost per unit on each, order. Someone like a Beats or a Bose, they're not going to have, $250 of pure, margin on it. It's going to be a lot, tighter with something like that. So it's a lot more expensive to actually manufacture and produce these. So I think that could be, a major reason, but I guess I'm excited right now while I'm the first one, to be doing this.
That's great. So in other words, you were studying, what were you studying again? Accounting and computer science or something, or what?
I was studying economics there and computer science. I spent a lot of time working on I guess it's an older version of what they have now, the old like the old AR drones, which they've now, come out with all these high tech ones where you can buy them right off the shelves. But I remember, even 3 or 4 years ago, I was actually buying the components from China and sticking them together into these, flying quadcopters. So. Wow!
So you were putting together your own drones from parts you bought on Alibaba or somewhere like that in China?
Exactly. Tech, parts from Shenzhen was sort of what, I was doing my freshman and sophomore year.
So then you got into this. So it really took, you're on the soccer team there. You're a full-time student. So you're doing this as your third job for the last 2 years of college, it sounded like.
Yeah. So that's sort of what I was doing. Really where the idea came in was I tore my Achilles playing soccer, and I was doing all of this rehab at the time, and I was on the treadmill in the wintertime in Virginia because I couldn't run outside. It was pretty cold or snowing, and I think this is a really good outlet because at the time I wasn't able to play soccer, and I could kind of focus my energy on school, and then as soon as I got done with classes, I'd go into looking at how I'm going to improve the headset that I had built at the time. And find the right people to make a good team.
And you said it was easy to find great people by just going on like Elance or somebody, and you found like the best people in the world to work for a fraction of the price to give you what you need.
So I think one of the things that's been really revolutionary about young people like myself, and even kind of the changing world economy, is that people can now just go online and quickly post a job posting. So one of the things that I think really helped my business get off the ground and start to go forward was I had a working prototype that was a proof of concept and that, worked and so forth, but I needed to refine that and make it look, pretty and add, all of the features, etc. So I just posted a quick, job description on an online site called Elance, and within a week I had one of the top engineers who had just, left his job at Martin Logan and was in the process of looking for a job. Where he ended up getting hired at Garmin to work on their wearables.
Wow.
And he just felt like this is such an awesome project. Let's move forward on it. So it was great.
And you got on a bargain price.
No, totally.
That's so fantastic. No, I think it's so fun in our society now. I mean, so a fellow barely out of school can start something like this, get the talent, get the money, and go on crowdfunding, and your Indiegogo thing is way over, your quota already, or your budget, or your goal, and you're still coming in. It's just fun. And so to get it though, it's GetTrex.com. That's how to get one of these things. So you'd be the first in your neighborhood, doesn't have to run down the street with those wires flopping all over your chest when you're running, and breaking cell phones in the gym when you're on the treadmills and stuff like that. Wow. And I guess what you talked about before we went on the air, that you had a boring job that you're making a hell of a lot of money in the financial service industries. And that sounded like that was a big tipping point for you, that you want to really work for yourself instead of some big corporation.
Yeah, no, totally. So I kind of, as I briefly mentioned, came up with this idea sort of in the winter, springtime, when I was, rehabbing an injury. And then, over that next summer, that coming summer, I spent, time actually putting together a lot of, tech deals for big tech companies. And I just thought to myself, hey, why can't I be, working on my own thing? And if I'm in the office until 1 a.m. in the morning, if I put all this time into my own deal, then why can't I, hopefully someday be as successful as they are. So
you bet. And you're there already, and you're just out of school. See, they taught you a lot. How miserable it is to work like hell for somebody else and they get all the money, right?
yeah, totally.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. And the video is great, man. Do you see this? So go to Michael's website, GET, and then TREX.com. Watch the video. You see what a neat gadget you got there. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matthew. Appreciate it.
I
Okay, we're going to start living a whole lot differently nowadays. And it's happening already. And it's really the internet that is causing this. Now watch this next interview with this fella. He got almost $1 million, almost $900,000 for a little button. You put a little button somewhere, and then you just press it, and something happens because it's connected to the internet. Like you want to unlock that door, you push this button, all that's connected to the internet, it goes. You put a little button on your lapel, maybe for safety, and you push the button, and all of a sudden it calls 911 or somebody that you're in trouble and where you are. They know where you are and all that kind of stuff. It happens. You're driving down the highway and you're going to be late again for dinner, and your wife said, "Oh, you're late one more time, and if you don't call." All you do is press the button, and it leaves a message that, hey, where you are and how long you're going to be there, all by itself. I mean, it's amazing what's happening because of the internet. It's called the Internet of Things. Everything can be connected to the internet, and it makes it easier. I mean, what this fella does too for his grandmother, who is actually his mom, but the grandmother to his kids, is still in India. He lives here in the United States, and he put like pictures of his grandchildren, and then he put a button on the picture. And so when they press the button, it calls on her cell phone for that child. All she has to know is that picture and the button, and it makes it call that child, and so she doesn't have to figure out all the complications of what's happening in the middle of all this. See, and that's what, to me, the internet is so exciting. and products like this that are not being invented by 3M or some Fortune 500 company or something like that. No, they can't get out of their own way. Here's a guy who just dreamt up the idea, found a little money to put the whole idea together, and then goes on Indiegogo, a crowdfunding site, and gets almost $900,000 because it looks so cool to everybody, and he hasn't even made them yet. That's money that he's generating before he goes to produce the things. Now with the $900,000, he can produce a whole lot of these things. And what's so neat, see, he has customers. These are people who paid in advance before you have the product. That's why there's no other place now that you could do something like this. Who the heck else is you're gonna go into a store and say, well, yeah, give me the money and I'll be back in 3 months with the product. No. But that's happening on the internet, and that's why it's causing us to start more businesses, be more independent, make things better, faster, cheaper than the big companies, because you're in control. And you don't have to have meetings and big company. And the big companies, see, they need billions of dollars for an idea. And so they're not going to waste their big, elephant company, to go down something for only a few $1,000,000 or something like that. But you would. What the heck? A few $1,000,000 isn't bad. And that's what's happening. So the big organizations are leaving these $1,000,000 crumbs around that they can't be bothered with. And those $1,000,000 crumbs may turn into be $1 billion someday, but they don't know that. Nobody knows that. But $1 million is good enough for you, right? So that's what's neat about what's happening in our society. And you could take advantage of it too. Because none of this takes special knowledge, expertise, or whatever. It just means trial and error. Try something and find out what it works. Why doesn't it? Because there's no cost to doing it that way. So watch. Well, Pranav Kasori. But more important, we want to know about Flick.io. You got an app and a little gadget, like that little gadget you have on your lapel. Now that's going to solve every problem in the world. From safety to your calling phones to opening doors. I mean, it's just incredible. No wonder you got almost $1 million in crowdfunding already. Wow. So the campaign, you got almost $900,000 already on your campaign. And that's just little buttons like this that brings everything to life through your phone, huh? God.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many applications. You got a dozen ways to use this thing, don't you? Come on, rattle some off for us so we know.
Yeah, sure. You can use Flick in your car when you're driving home as a late button, for example. That's something I usually do. I tend to be late to my meetings. Having a button, when I press it, it will send a message saying, like, this is my position. I will be 10 minutes late to my next.
So all I do is press that. The phone calls your wife or whatever, leaves a message. Hey, I'm still at the bar or whatever it is. Yeah. Okay, that's one. What else?
For your home, you can set up Flick. A lot of people have home automation, like lights they can control your smartphone or your Sonos speaker, for example. And now you can have a button to control this.
So I want to turn on something. I know to take on my phone and figure it out and get through the locking system. So I just one button and everything turns on. Lights turn on if I want, or the radio or the music or anything like that. Wonderful. Okay, what else? How do we do this?
What's that?
You can also have it for serious purposes, like, for example, a distress button. You can wear it, and then if you're walking home in a dodgy area, you can hold it in and send a distress message to your friends and family saying, like, I need help, this is my position. Wow. Or you can have it for example, my grandmother, she lives in India, and she has a lot of grandchildren all around the world. So what I did, like, she wants to call people on Skype, but she doesn't really know how to use a smartphone. So what I did was I put up a picture frame of all the grandkids, and then I put a button next to each of every grandkid, and then when she presses it, it will start Skype and call that person.
Wow.
So now you have to do with your phone, she has to do
that's terrific. Well, even for me, I would love to have buttons. People like, it's sort of like auto dial or something. You put in a number and you don't have to turn that machine on or whatever. Wow, well, that's terrific. Okay, what else? Come on. I know there's a dozen things.
So, I mean, there's hundreds of examples of not only what we have come up with, but what our users or what our backers have, proposed to do. So one of the most like we launched we launched a website called ideas.flick.io where our backers could upload their ideas on what they would use Flick for. And one of the most voted functions was actually having a button, and when you press it, the lights will turn down or dim to red, and then we'll start to play the song "Let's Get It On" by Barry White.
Well, I like the opposite example you have. You're at a boring date, and you just press the button in your pocket, and your phone rings, and oh, my mother's sick, I have to go home. Yeah,
yeah, the big call button. Yeah, that's a popular one as well. Yeah, that's it.
Or actually, you set it up to take a selfie. So you put your phone on a wall or somewhere, or on a desk, and you back away and just press the button, and it takes a selfie. Yeah.
Wow.
That is completely correct. I mean, that's something we see a lot of people taking selfies, but you always try to.
Yeah, exactly. My arms aren't long enough. And they have these poles now and all that kind of crap.
We coined a word. I don't know if people are going to catch on to that, but we call it the shelfie instead.
You put the thing on the shelf. On the shelfie. Well, that's terrific.
Maybe not that great.
Well, I mean, and then the greatest thing about this, man, you're in the game for like $34. That's it. And you're using these things, and you can get a bunch of buttons, like 4 buttons for $99 or whatever. But each button you could use for 3 different applications, right? So you could have one on a door and have it call you and something else.
To set it up, and then I can stick Flick
all that kind
of
stuff. That's terrific.
I can even share this with my roommate.
It's you as the user who determines what functions that you want your button to do. So it's really, you as the user have a customizable button. So for example, I have one by my door. So when I exit my house, I just press it once to find my phone. Or locate my phone because I never find it. I double press it, and it will show me when the next, or it will read up from my phone when the next bus is going from my bus station, and then I hold it in, and then it will send a preset email to my co-founder saying that I'm on my way from my.
Wow, what is humans going to do anymore? We're going to have nothing to do.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We have all these great functions and apps in our phone, but it's really we don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. It's not really that beyond your devices. The way that we live in our everyday life. So it's really just having a Flick button is really crucial. You never know what you need a button for until you actually.
And not only that,
everybody started to look a little obnoxious with a phone in their hand all the time. And you look like you're not interested in the world or all this. So this time, your normal kind of things, you just press a button. And, you don't have to be your face in the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we learned in the States when we were there showing Flick was that a lot of people associate this to the Staples button, the easy button.
Yes.
Like this is actually like an easy button that actually does something. So
that's a fake button too, right? A fake button.
Well, everybody's been getting this, man. Well, I mean, what a gift, because everybody's got a cell phone, right? So it's an Android, an iPhone, or whatever. And for $34, man, you give a powerhouse of stuff to people, right? And if you go to Flick, Flic.io, that's the now, the hip extension, right, that people use, .io, no more .com, .io, so Flic.io, and you're shipping already, even though you're still crowdfunding, man, you're shipping that sucker, so it won't be long at all before you get this, right?
We're not really shipping yet. We have shipped to our beta testers or our beta community, but we're starting shipping in, or commence shipping in a couple of weeks.
I see. Well, on crowdfunding, that's already. A lot of these things you have to wait till next year. Yeah.
I mean, I think we are really fast in the sense of being a crowdfunded company or a crowdfunded product. So our team has worked tremendously hard and they're really great. So yeah, now we're soon gonna ship this.
Well, thank you for figuring all this stuff out for us and making the life easier for the rest of us. And this is from a guy. What is your degree in again?
Molecular biology.
You never know, do you? Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.